Hi, my name is Jessica Pape, and I am here just to share a little bit of insight, I guess, on some things that work well for me. So whether this is for your business or your personal life, I by no means claim to be an expert in any way at all, just to preface that and get that out there. But I have kind of found some things that work really well for me. So I'm excited to kind of share what some of those things are. So today I'm going to talk about time management. And this is the big reason why I preface by saying I'm not the expert, because I am sure I have plenty of friends in my family that will be like, sometimes she's good at that. And sometimes I'm not. And it is something that I try to make really as a daily practice, just really being mindful and intentional on how I best utilize my time. So within my world, I'm always wearing a lot of hats. You know, I'm always a mom. I'm always a wife. You know, I always have like those main things that are going on, being a friend, all of those things that I want to be present and available all the time. But on top of that, I have my full-time job. Within my full-time job, I have people that also depend on me. So I have the people that directly, report to me. And then I also have different groups that I work with. So within that, I also want to make sure that I'm really being available. Besides just my full-time job though, I have other volunteer gigs that I do. So things such as school board, it's really hard to call that a gig. It's sometimes much more than just a part-time hobby, but it's something that is really important to me. Education is near and dear to my heart, so I like to make that a priority. I also have grade level reading. That's something that I'm always really mindful of and looking at what I'm doing. Just all of these different things that are kind of in and out all the time. And when I start to kind of create my task list and my to-do list of different things that I need to be doing, it can become very overwhelming. Because on top of those things, I also just want to be a good citizen and a good community member and volunteer at my church and volunteer at different events in the city. So there's always a lot of different things that I could be doing anytime. And then sometimes I just want to read, or I just want to go out with my husband and not do any of those things. Plus, I also have housework to do. So just the daily things that we all do every single day. But when I sit and I really stop and think about all those things, it can become really overwhelming. And I think the biggest thing for me is they're all important. So how do I start? How do I know what I need to do first? So with that, I've always kind of felt like I had a pretty good grasp of all of those things. I would say my main go-to had always been just creating a list. You know, if I create a list, I know what's going on every week. I make sure the big highlighted things get done. But I was really challenged. This started about 9 months ago, actually. I had a good friend of mine that gave me a journal. So I just want to share this with you. It's called The Most Important Hour. And it's by Buck Jacobs. And it's a 90-day quiet time journal. So I was given this, and I'll be really honest, when I was first given it, I was like, an hour? I don't have an hour. I don't have any extra time. But what I found is that when I started to do kind of the outline that this journal had, it made me start to see how I can align different things and maybe reprioritize a little bit. So for example, they actually start out kind of giving some commentary in the book. And one of my favorite things that it says is priorities are what we do. Everything else is just talk. So it made me really think about, what am I doing? Because it's whatever I'm doing that's going to show what my priorities truly are. So even if I say, these are my priorities, but I'm doing something completely different, that's just talk. And I really got to a point where I said, I'm done with the talk. I'm done with lip service. I want to really hone in on what it is that I'm doing. So the journal focuses on writing out your gratitudes every single day. It focuses on just a journal section that they actually have you write out as a prayer, which to me, in my faith, that's very important for me. But it also asks that you read one chapter of a different book every day. that you are reading scripture every day. And then you also record your weight, which, to be honest, that was really weird to me at first. But it did make me really mindful that I will only be as healthy emotionally, mentally, spiritually as I am physically. I'm a whole person. And so I started this out kind of a skeptic, to be honest, just wondering what it was going to do for me. Because that's really what we're all looking for, right? The WIFM, what's in it for me? But the more that I did it, the more it really made me just be aware of the different things that maybe I was focusing on, or what things I was moving around to be able to get this in. And I'll be straight up honest, did it always take me an hour? No. Sometimes I felt like reading a chapter took me the longest to do out of all of it. But it was just a really great way for me to kind of start putting together and thinking about, how am I focusing? What are my priorities? What am I really trying to do? So I just have some notes, like I said, some quick kind of takeaway things that I have learned. One of the most important things for me when I think about my priorities is you can only be fully present doing one thing. And when I realized that, that was kind of a hard pill to swallow for me, because I always thought of myself as the queen of multitasking. So when I think about I can only be fully present doing one thing at a time, that really challenged me and made me honestly uneasy, because it made me think about how many times am I doing things that I'm not fully present? And if I'm not fully present, am I really giving it my all? And just coming from a place of total vulnerability, I feel like the biggest thing for me was with my family. But I was thinking about, am I really being fully present with them? Am I really giving them my all? And I realized I wasn't. And then I started thinking about things that I was doing for other people or for my work, and realizing I am not giving it my all because I'm trying to do it all. So I had to really kind of find a way to bring it all down, bring it all together, really prioritize and really focus. So one thing that I do is I map my week. And for me, my week is on my phone. So I have my calendar on my phone, and that is all of my meetings where there are times I need to be on a Zoom or in a physical place, or meeting someone at the coffee shop, whatever it is. I have to have those in there. Those are kind of my my map, just to know like where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing. Those are the concrete things. So I start out every single week, I look at that. We also have a shared one at on our refrigerator, actually, for the whole family. So it's not just where I am at, but it's also if my husband has appointments, if the kids have things going on. That way we all kind of know where everyone is at. So I really start there. The second thing I do from there then is I kind of start to look at where are some blocks of time. I like blocks of time. If I'm running from one meeting to another meeting, once in a while, that's just the way it is. And that's just the way it is. But any time that I can have time in between to kind of decompress, debrief, take notes, think about where I'm heading to next, just to kind of be present is really important for me. Case in point, I was leaving one meeting and heading to another one, and was on the phone with someone else. So in between like those meetings, on the phone, trying to think of, what they're saying on the phone, also thinking of what I need to say at this next meeting, all of those different things. And what I really found is that whatever was happening on the phone, I wasn't really connecting to at all. I was not even fully aware. So for me, I like to have kind of those time blocks where if I do have meetings, I'm spreading them out a little bit more throughout my day. For me, I like to use, it's a project management tool. It's a free online web-based. You can pay for it if you want to have more features, but I just do the free one. It's called Asana. And so within Asana, you can actually put in all of the different projects that you're working on, and then tasks underneath that. So for me, it takes not only a project that I'm working on, but then that breaks it down into greater to-dos. So I try to spend usually like, a time block a week, maybe it's an hour during the week, to really focus on that, to see what are all the things that I need to do. So if I'm working on, for example, a golf outing, organizing a golf outing, who are all the people I need to contact? Who are my committee members? What do I need to do to really make all of those types of things happen? From there, I have my task list. So then I go to actually a physical calendar, you know, and I don't have anything fancy at all. I just use a normal paper calendar. And there is where I actually put in my daily to-dos. So with that, what I really focus on doing is having only 3 big tasks that I want to get done every single day. And the reason for it is this. If I only have 3 is very doable. Those are things that I can accomplish. It's not too much, but at the end of the day, I feel like I've accomplished my 3 things. The other great thing about it is that usually if I'm able to get 3 things done, I'm able to usually get in even more. So for me, it is just a way to really kind of connect and make sure I'm doing my to-do list and my tasks without getting, you know, too behind in any way in anything that I'm doing as well. So with that, it looks like a lot sometimes where I have, you know, my phone schedule. I also have the Asana software that has my bigger projects over there. And then also my written tasks that I'm working on too. But I really do find that that is one way I'm able to truly prioritize, because whenever you're looking at what are my 3 most important tasks, those are going to come really easily. You're going to see those 3 things that you need to do right away. And the other things, they're going to filter in. So there's never been a week where I haven't truly accomplished something that's been really important, because that just makes it to the top of my list. So it's been really great. The other thing though, is I have to schedule in breaks for myself. When I have a to-do list, I'm one of those people that I will just keep working until it's done. And you probably know a to-do list is never done. And so for me, it's really important that I am making sure that I'm setting in breaks for me. It's also really common for me to work a full day and then have to go back and work with a group at night or host a meeting at night. And so making sure that I have time in between there to come home and have supper with my family is one thing that I've really made just as a priority for me. Lastly, the last takeaway I think for time management and kind of like finding what is the best method that works for you and the best way to do it is to give yourself grace. Hard sometimes to do, but I think when you give yourself grace, you know that you may not always accomplish all of it. There may be some things that you have to let go, some things that you have to drop, but they're going to bounce back later. And giving yourself grace to know that you don't have to do all the things on your own, but really relying on people around you, your team around you, and looking at what are those things that you can do really well, just with the time frame that you have. And giving yourself grace. Perfection is not what we're ever trying to achieve. Hopefully, if you are, I would really advise you not to, because it's a hard road to go down, and I speak that from experience. But I think really finding what are the ways that you can best organize your time and best prioritize. So once again, just a really quick, you know, things that I would hope that you would take away, things that have really helped me immensely. First of all, start your day off right. For me, my most important hour is in the morning. That's when I'm connecting to my prayer time, my connection, really thinking, kind of setting up my whole day, starting my day out at truly a place of peace and contentment. If I start out my day with my to-do list and my alarms going off, I would be razzled all day long. So start out to your day the right way. Make sure that you are just being intentional, being mindful, whatever that looks like for you, but truly find that first. And I think the more that you do that, the longer you actually can spend more time in that, and the more benefit you find from that. Quick side note, I've actually found days where I almost like set up dates with myself or set up dates with God, where I say, I need to have this hour of time just to completely let go of everything else. I need to journal, I need to be quiet, whatever it is. And it seems really counterintuitive at the time, where it seems like if you set aside time to do that, you're not gonna have time to do the things you have to do. But I promise you, it's amazing how well everything falls into place. And when you take that time first, those things will still happen, and they will probably happen even better. I really don't know how that works, but I promise you it does. So set your day off right the very first way. And then 3 things. What are the 3 main things that you want to have accomplished? And like I said, this is after you kind of map out your week, you have your to-do list, but really focus on those 3 things every single day. You'll be able to cheer yourself on, you'll be able to cross those off and be really proud of yourself, but it will also kind of help you just to look at what are those main priorities that you are. And then lastly, give yourself grace. Know that every week might look completely different. I know my weeks do. I do have some weeks where I'm like, this is just going to be a really busy week. And I kind of go with the mindset of just got to get through it. You know, there's nights when I am working every single night away from home. And so for me, it's really being mindful of what things am I doing? Am I putting in place at home to make everything just kind of flow and be a lot easier that way? So that's just a little glimpse of what I do as far as time management. But I really do hope that at least you can take away some things from this, that I'm aware that, you know, what works for me will not work for everyone. But I have picked up these things from other people along the way. None of these are my own ideas. So that's really the cool thing too, is that I feel like everything that I bring in to helping me kind of manage my time, I'm thinking of 3 people off the top of my head that have spoken and shared things with them that worked well. So find what works for you, and we'll all accomplish everything that we're meant to do anyways. So hang in there, give yourself grace, and thanks for listening.